another episode of Cosmo Malayali. Today we have another episode on career guidance, which hopefully will be useful to students and their parents who are looking at coming over to UK for their higher studies. I will let my co-host Nitin introduce our special guest for the day.
Welcome to Cosmo Malayali. Today I have the pleasure of introducing you Professor Joemon. To me, Professor Joemon is just Joemon because we are good friends as well. Now, when we talk about Professor Jose, he is a professor of computing science and he works in the Glasgow University since 1998. He has completed his MSc in statistics in Cochin University from the year 1985 to 87.
Right.
We're going to ask a few questions which will hopefully help a few students progress in their career as well. So first of all, our question is, what courses are available in information technology in the UK, including undergraduate and postgraduate?
Let me talk about the courses we are offering at the University of Glasgow. We have three main streams.
Okay.
One is 4-year undergraduate degree, which is in a computing science. And then there is a master's degree, where that is 12-month program.
Just 12 months?
Just 12 months, continuous 12 months program, 1 year in computing science. And third stream, we have an information technology stream. That's again master's program, 12 months program.
Okay.
So here is the difference. When we call information technology, which is a conversion course.
Okay.
So when we say computing science, it is more fundamentals of computing and programming, etc. So there's a huge difference between those two.
Okay.
Information technology is taken by people who want to have a conversion, a career change, and use computing technologies in their workplace or other places. So
it's
if
a
you
different
have,
path anyway.
if you have already an undergraduate degree, you can take that course, right?
Okay.
So if any subjects. So the type of jobs focused is also different. That's maybe we could say soft computing. Right? So I think this difference should be considered nowadays when you apply to UK, right? Because information technology, it's not as prestigious from a computing science perspective, right? It's just helping them to move on with their career, and then they can develop further.
Right.
They could go to PhDs or things like that. There are opportunities for that. Okay.
So what's the duration and what kind of a fees are we looking at these undergraduate and postgraduate courses?
Okay, so the undergraduate program, it's 4 years. It's actually students after plus 2, equivalent to advanced hires in Scotland and A-level in England, right? So once they come, first 2 years in almost all Scottish universities is reasonably light. So the idea is to get them settled in the university life.
Especially those who are coming from overseas, just for them to settle.
So in fact, in Scottish context, you should when you may look at it, right? It's reasonably light compared to 3rd and 4th year. But 3rd and 4th year is game changer.
Okay.
So they are so much so that people complain it's too much.
Okay.
So there we are teaching them state of the art things, etc. And really constant attention is needed. So then you asked MSc, right? MSc program, 12 months. So this is an important distinction compared to India. We have their 24 months, 2 years.
2 years.
So here it is 12 months, but it's all entire 12 months is used. So the teaching is organized most universities in semesters. So it's all 3-month semesters. So semester 1 and semester 2 is for teaching. And semester 3 for examination and grading. Right? For MSc, we have semester 4 as well. So they do a very, very, very concentrated project work for 3 months, for 12 weeks, right? Exactly 12 weeks. And it's very substantial because 60 credit module. So it makes them
quite a lot.
So it makes them combat ready. And when we go out, they should be able to use this technology properly.
Straight away.
Right?
Good. Now, obviously, when people talk about the United Kingdom, there are several nations within the United Kingdom. So England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales.
Right.
So when it comes to different nations, are there any major differences in these courses?
Yes, there are. That's strangely, Scotland offers a unique program, 4 years undergraduate degree.
Uh-huh.
Whereas other parts of UK,
Uh-huh.
other countries we go, right?
Yeah.
In if you are in India, it's equivalent to states. So that is Wales, England, and Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
So they all follow a 3-year course pattern.
Okay.
Okay. And whereas Scotland it is 4 years.
Right.
So somebody who wants to apply for the undergraduate course, so there's something called UCAS, and you've got to understand the application process. So could you give us a bit more detail about this UCAS and how to apply for an undergraduate course?
So UCAS is interesting. That's owned by a private company.
Oh, okay.
I think it's set up in 1993 in England. So they are the ones doing all the admission services for all the universities and colleges in UK, especially undergraduate. So all the applications to these universities go through UCAS. And then these universities pull those applications, apply to them from the UCAS.
Okay.
And
so from which year should the parents be looking at this UCAS
So,
and the requirements?
in UK the deadline is normally 25th January of the year.
For the next academic year.
Academic year. So it may be a couple of days here and there, but this year it was 25th January 2023, right? And then they assess and they make an offer or a reject, which again you can get through UCAS.
And then the parents can just go to the UCAS website and
That's
start.
it.
That's it.
Now, I think, especially coming from India, there is always this question about the different terminologies.
Right.
So, it is in the UK. It is definitely different, as in what a college is and what a university is.
Correct.
Can you tell us the difference?
Yes, okay. Well, first of all, universities are degree granting institutions, right? So they have the authority to grant a degree. Whereas colleges, they are affiliated to, they are controlled by a body. They organize the exams and other kind of stuff, right? The purpose of college is to give more practical vocational courses, right? And it's much more shorter duration.
Okay.
So it's just to go into the entry level jobs in somewhere you can easily start that process, right?
Okay. Right.
Whereas universities is much more broader education.
Yeah.
They give the practical as well as theory understanding of.
I guess it's much more deeper as well.
Much more deeper, academically much more broad as well.
Right.
So I think it's a rough comparison in India if you take Indian Institute of Technologies and the colleges, how different that is.
Right.
Right. So in terms of quality or content, okay. I'm not arguing all the universities are of the same standard as in Indian Institute of Technologies, but I'm saying that the difference between what is in the colleges here and the universities may be that different, right?
Okay. Right.
And and colleges in India, if you do a degree, it's the same degree, whereas colleges here, it is not affiliated like to any universities.
So Joemon, I had asked you earlier about UCAS. How do you choose a university, or how would you know which university is better than the other? And is there a university ranking? And I've heard of Russell Group of universities, and also would you explain that to us, please?
Yeah. That's very interesting when you look at the universities ranking. But we need to understand some historical things here, right? For example, Glasgow University is established in 1451 by the order of Pope, papal order, right? So at that time universities were started with the permission of the Pope, right? So around 570 plus years old Glasgow University, right? And it is the 4th oldest university in the English speaking world, right? And so if you look at those universities, there are other universities, Cambridge, Oxford, much older than that, St. Andrews. So they all established over the years through certain ethos, certain ways of organizing things, right? And you can imagine that in the earlier years, they had a lot of freedom in organizing the subjects. It's all new at that time. It's all invented, right? So the point here I want to make is all these universities come with a lot of history, the way they develop and evolve the teaching methodology and the content. So you expect a lot of variations in what is taught, how it is taught in these universities. And the rest group of universities is a group of 24 elite universities, who themselves have a lot of variation in terms of historical terms, how they develop the subject and taught in the institutions, right?
So where would you look for the university rankings within UK then?
So the Guardian newspaper has a ranking, or the Times has one, or you can look in the world university rankings, right? So if you look at the UK rankings, almost any, and then there's one more point there. It's 1 and 2 is different, right? But if you look at these top 5 or top 10, right, there won't be that much difference between them.
Subject variation will be there.
Right, subject variation. I'll come to that because there are 2 aspects here. One is which university. Second one is which subject, right? So if you look at the ranking of the university, I suggest we should look at the bands, top 10 or 10 to 20. They have that number won't be that important, but that band will be. Second one, the most important one, much more important one, is the school or department or the subject you are choosing. Universities set the tone, rules and regulations, but the departments and establish them. So they have a lot of freedom in doing that. Subject specific, etc. And also there's a lot of historical connection, how that subject is evolved, right?
So does that mean that each department can change the curriculum?
Curriculum is established by the department. University doesn't do anything, right?
That's interesting.
And what we teach, we set the exams, and we have some external referees or external examiners who look at the questions and say it is, what standard they are comparable across UK, etc. So there are systems, but these departments set their subjects, content, right? Now that's why you see the variation in what is taught in the and the common the universities in the same band will have more or less same standards, right? And that's what we need to know. But the subject specific rankings are there. That is the one we should be spending more time with.
Having said that, so when you're choosing a subject, do you think it's useful for parents and students to come and participate in the open days and come and meet the people in the department and get to know more about
So undergraduate degree, of course it is. And also for parents and children in India, that won't be a practical thing to come and But there are many universities now offer online. So one of the issues is undergraduate students come, they feel fish out of water kind of initially, both culture, climate, atmosphere, etc.
It's totally different.
So any familiarizing with this or any effort towards that will be really helpful to them, right? But there is also one more issue. Like many students coming from India, they want a degree and get a job, and they also want to work along with that. So you need to basically investigate what exactly you want. If you are coming to further your academic qualification and looking for further education, of course you should choose the best one. Right? Or one of the best. Whereas if you want just a degree, then you were planning to work a lot of time, earn some money, then presumably you should not go to a top class university. Because you don't have the time.
To go to a top class.
You don't need that. Then there is my personal advice to youngsters when they're choosing is, if they are doing an MSc, right, do it properly if you can. And do it in a good place.
And let us say if you want to join a university in the UK, whether you have been educated back in India or you have educated in the UK, like you're schooling in the UK. What sort of entry requirements are they should be aware of so that they can get into, let's say, to an undergraduate course?
So there is a demand and supply. Right? All the universities have certain places, right? So all the universities set what kind of qualification they want for their courses.
How can you relate that to people coming from India?
So otherwise they look for equivalent qualifications. Right? And so in a plus 2 or equivalent, what the content they learn, etc., they look at it, and they can make a decision. So I think it's mostly they consider, first of all, in India education is in English. So
is
easy, yeah, and also the contents, syllabus, curriculum, all these they can examine.
Yeah.
So I think the +2 is acceptable in that. There's also one thing, they are not compared against Scottish qualifications because they are coming through a different stream. We call that overseas students, international students.
Yeah.
And they are full fee paying. Full fee paying means all the students for running a course for one student, how much is the actual fee cost? That's roughly what is charged in their international fees.
Yeah.
So they are considered in a different stream. We
Yeah.
are not competing for the standard places what we have here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that is so they don't need to worry about competing with the local students.
So it is kind of self-funded.
Self-funded.
Yeah.
That's the
So
word.
basically, if you want to get into a particular, say for example, Glasgow University, and if, make sure you meet the university's requirements. Minimum requirement, but if you excel in it, even better. Yeah. But you're probably competing with, if you're an overseas student, you're probably competing with the other overseas students, not the local students.
Correct. Yeah.
So talking about money, tuition fees. What is the rough figure that you're thinking about?
Yeah, it is roughly £28,000 per year for science and engineering courses. For arts, it is around 24,000.
What's the difference? Is it the lab fee, bench fee?
Yeah, it's this. That's I think science and engineering should have some labs and other things, right? And the medicine is 53,000
per
pounds.
year.
Yeah, and industry 48 or 50,000. Okay, roughly.
We all know that the United Kingdom makes a lot of money through universities as well.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you want to get in, like say September 2024,
right?
How soon is your application process? When do you start applying?
I think it's we started getting application from December, January onwards.
Like this year. For
next
September 24.
2024.
So nearly more than a year before the year you want to start.
I think that is 12 months before. If you start sooner, because you need a lot of preparation. You need to get this. Then you need to arrange your funding. Then you need to arrange your visas, etc. So it's better to start that process early. Okay. You can apply directly. You don't need UCAS for that.
Right.
Masters.
Okay.
For
Not for the masters. It's UCAS is for the undergraduates. And also, I think if you're looking at coming, especially the undergraduate courses, if you want to meet the university requirements, you've got to make sure that from year 10 you start looking at it, or
that is better. But what is in real life happening is such decisions are made maybe at the last minute, right? So they look at the opportunities, funding, and other services. By the time they make this huge decision, parents and the children together, right? Then maybe year before or closer, and even say my friend is going, maybe I will go as well. As there are a lot of things come, right?
So far, Joemon has explained to us about how to choose a subject and the pathway to getting into an undergraduate and postgraduate MScs and in UK. What I'd like to next ask you is about PhD programs.
Right.
So what are the requirements for PhD programs? Where do we get the funding? And could you give us some more details about that?
So the PhD program, basically it is, so far we were talking about the school specific, right? PhD program even individual specific, the supervisor you're working with. That's the problem, right? So you want to do a PhD on a topic, we expect in your application along with your CV, you to write a research proposal 2 to 3 pages long
about that topic.
Yeah. Okay. So ideally, it is better you contact a person working in that area instead. So you develop this proposal. If you have that basic qualification, then you can get admission. That part is not that difficult, right?
Okay.
But we always check. Now we do an online interview in terms of talking to you to make sure your English speaking skills as well as your technical skills. Right, it's not so formal. It's kind of
just get a rough idea.
Then the proposal, you need to read a couple of papers and write that. So we look that too, and your CV, your basic qualification, right? So the fees for postgraduate PhD also same, 28,000 roughly.
Per
And
year.
and there will be inflation related adjustments
Mm-hmm.
in fees every year. But to get that fees in a scholarship, let's see, there may be 1 or 2 scholarships for international students,
Okay.
right, per school. And it's highly competitive. Normally you get, if you have good publication, good CV or something stand out, then there is a good chance of getting it. But I came through that system. I didn't have much publication or anything at that time. That was different times. So I will ask people to keep trying that.
Interesting.
And also from India, there are other Commonwealth scholarships and other scholarship schemes which also people should try.
Yeah.
Obviously, one big component of doing university in the UK is working while studying.
Right.
And what is the current environment for it?
Yeah. So there is a rule. People who are on student visa, they can maximum work per week 20 hours.
20 hours.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So during term time.
Mm-hmm.
Outside term time, I think with the permission of employer, you can avail more hours.
Okay.
Other reason is it's fully engaged course. That means you can take your eyes away from your study during
Yeah.
study time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one downside of that. Right?
Yeah.
But you can work for other places like in deliveries, restaurants, pubs. I will not think it is good strategy to think that you can work and earn a lot of money to fully support you.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the primary focus.
Yeah.
No, that shouldn't be the primary focus because I have seen students in severe stress, especially during COVID, right? So this work stream, funding stream stopped to get that.
Yeah.
You can go and work and get some extra money, but I think you should have enough fun.
Yeah. So
to
it's
support
important that they have enough fund for paying the tuition and the accommodation and the personal expenses fee.
But there is another issue is accommodation. So if you're coming in the first year, I would suggest it may be a good idea you go to university accommodation, right?
Yeah.
And then roughly around £600 accommodation cost, but that all comes with all the bills, etc.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about safety or other kind of things because there are other securities and everything will be there.
It's a safe campus.
It's a safe campus, etc. And maybe you can get cheaper private, but it comes with additional. Then you need to find money for the bills, etc.
Yeah, electricity,
city,
water,
gas,
council tax,
council
and
tax,
everything.
etc.
You'll need
So
to
the
pay
university
separately.
accommodation that. But once you are here 1 year, then you can look for private with the like-minded people.
Yeah.
Then you will be under control.
So you're recommending go for the university accommodation
For the first year. First year.
and also to make sure that you look into these things in early enough so that you're not disappointed.
Correct.
You know, if you leave it for the last minute, accommodation is as important as
Yeah.
Yes,
the
it
rest
is,
of the
because
procedures.
You
as
need to
well.
have a safe and calm
Absolutely,
environment
yeah.
for them to study
Yeah,
and work.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I think we've got a brief synopsis of how to, what to look for somebody who's trying to come to UK and do their further studies. So thank you so much,
You're
Joemon.
welcome.
So thank you very much again, Joemon.
You're welcome.
It's very difficult to call that professor. So thank you very much again. So I think it was a great synopsis of what is involved in postgraduate studies and undergraduate studies in the UK. Please do subscribe to our channel as usual. If you have any comments, please write it down in the comment section just underneath the video, and
it will be helpful if you can put in some genuine comments in the comment section so other people can look into it, and they will be helpful for somebody.
Yes.
And we'll also be adding some links in the description box.
Yes. And we'll try to answer all your questions in the comment section as much as possible. And do not forget to share this video with anyone who you think is going to benefit from these videos. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you.